Welcome to See You Next Tuesday. I'm Jade Chung. I took a 6-year break from wrestling. I took the time to go back to college, get my degree, spend a lot of time with my family at that time. I had goddaughters, I had my niece, I had my nephew, and I actually had a sports bar. Although I loved the break and I loved all the time that I had of trying other things, I obviously missed wrestling. Wrestling isn't a sport that's easy to walk away from. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And even wrestling fans, some fans will stop watching for a certain period of time and then they always find themselves back to watching it. And especially during this time where there's so much wrestling going on, there's so much good stuff, there's so many different things, not to mention the women's revolution and just amazingness all around. I got back into wrestling in 2015. I had some family stuff going on that really occupied myself. And I've mentioned it a bit in one of my podcasts, which I promise I will dive into in one of these episodes one day. But I really needed to focus on myself. I was giving all of myself, all of my attention, all of my energy to my mom, who was really sick back then. And I just knew that I wasn't paying any attention to myself. I knew that in order to just also make me happy, I needed to do something for myself. And at this time, my mom was in a coma for a month. So by this time, she was out of a coma for, I think, like a couple weeks before I had this special call. So she was out of a coma and, just her state, there wasn't much, she didn't know what was going on. She was barely awake and me trying to be bedside, 12 hours of the day, just, it just didn't make sense for me to just stay there. I did that while she was in a coma because I really, really wanted to be bedside when she woke up, and which actually did happen. It's a beautiful story that I will share on another episode. But anyway, it was just time for me to really focus on myself a bit. I think it was mid-January. I had one of the former promoter for Superkicked here in Toronto gave me a call and asked me if, I'd be interested in coming back. And immediately I said, yeah, I didn't even think about it. I just said yes. Deep down, wrestling saved me. Wrestling knew that I needed it again without even realizing it. I just knew I had to really focus on myself. And before you knew it, they announced me in their flyer, in their poster, and I really started to get that smile back and the excitement back. And I believe the first show back was in February. Oh, my mind is just off. It was either early February or late January show, but I was put into a group named All Black Everything, and it was one of the best times I had. My character, honestly, I don't want to say I was being myself, but I was really out there. I have a huge personality when I'm out performing, and it's something that I really love to do and really love to show off. And it was just a fun time. I was put in a group with Anthony Kingdom James, Brent Banks, and Tarek. Such a fun group of guys to work with and to be in a group with and be all black everything with. On today's episode, I have one of my good friends and one of the members of All Black Everything. Please welcome my good friend, Anthony Kingdom James. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jade. What? You're already laughing ridiculously.
Because you say it so like nonchalant. Hey, Jade.
Because I'm sorry. Am I supposed to put on a necktie and take this, like a business meeting or something?
Listen, it's you. You should be like, oh my God, thank you so much for having me on. I am so thrilled. I'm so honored.
Can we get a time code on when I curse the first time in this? Because I got an F-bomb to drop.
Why?
You're such a anyways. It's your show.
A fabulous person. Thank you.
It's your show. It's your show. I'm grateful that you asked me to be on your show, and I plan to be a gracious guest.
That's good.
Yeah.
Seems though you're not doing anything, so good.
I plan to use a lot of words that confuse Brent Banks, if he's listening.
If he's out there,
He's out there. He's out there, all right.
I don't know if anyone's talked to him.
I exchanged messages with him like a week or so ago, and he's just as difficult as ever.
Does he still take forever to message back, even though he's quarantining at home?
Yeah, he's slightly better at it with me because he knows that like if he leaves it too long, I'll send him curse words. But so it's better to just within 24 hours respond. But he's still Brent. Brent is Brent. I love him, but he's Brent. He's so Brent.
That's how everybody explains Brent.
Yeah.
He's Brent.
He's so Brent.
What is Brent? What makes him Brent?
Brentliest. I don't know. If I understood Brent Banks, I could fix Brent Banks. I tried. I don't know that this, that's pretty self-indulgent of me, or self-absorbed or egotistical of me. I don't know that there's anything wrong with Brent. If Brent is happy, then let Brent be Brent. We're saying Brent a lot.
Let's switch it up. Brenton. There we go.
Yeah.
I like Brenton more. He's more used to Brenton or Brentley.
I like Brentwood B bank statement.
Well, there you go.
Throw in an extra B.
For anyone who thinks we're just talking crap about Brent, we're not. It's all out of love. All out of
and for anybody who doesn't know who we're talking about when we talk about Brent Banks, that's Brent's fault.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Poor Brent.
I did not come into this.
That was all you. Yeah, you're so mean.
I did not. You're
so rude.
Look who I'm talking to. If
the
you've
nicest person in the world.
Hold on. If you've convinced the general public, your listening audience, that you are a sweet, lovable person, you're lovable. But when we were together in Super Kicked, what was the nickname I gave you?
Buzzsaw. Listen, sometimes you just got to get down to business, okay?
Exactly. I literally, my whole idea for your character in that group was, we have a problem, we just throw Jade at them. Problem solved. Someone's eviscerated and Jade's laughing.
That's pretty much what real life is like too.
Yeah. Didn't come by accident.
My husband knows to just throw me at something.
Oh, I'm sure that he's built a safe room somewhere in the house that you don't know about. I'd be checking behind like grandfather clocks and big paintings. There's a secret entrance in that. And then, is there a draft coming out of the middle of a wall? Secret door.
If he hates someone enough, to where he just knows that I would just get, what's the word? I don't want to say jollies. That sounds really weird. That I would get my jollies off, like just ripping into somebody.
Mm-hmm.
He would just let me go.
Yeah, I'm sure. Josh is the kind of wingman who I think would let you get in the first couple of punches before he even thinks of breaking it up. Like, okay, if she's mad at that person, they deserve it. Get in a few and then do the right thing and break it up.
Yes, he has to calm me down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tends to do that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's his own brand of intimidating.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get on some topics
start
here.
Over? Well, you want to start over and keep this as an extra bit of audio for your Patreon people?
We should have just called each other on the phone and like get caught up first and then start recording.
You see, now that's what I do when I'm talking to people, is I start recording immediately, and then we bullshit for a few minutes, and then I do what you did. I said, okay, give me a few seconds of room tone, and then I'll hit an intro for you and we'll start. And sometimes the stuff before the show is so good that it becomes an extra for my Patreon people.
So you're using your guests, you piece of, you know what? What if somebody?
What do you mean?
What if somebody admitted to a murder?
Well, then I wouldn't publish that.
Yeah, I don't trust you.
Why would I rat you out?
Don't trust you.
But if the beginning of the conversation is, hey, what video game you've been playing lately? If it's just conversation that has nothing to do with the interview, right? For me, there's two. I separate how my episodes come out into different categories now. There's an interview where I'm straight up asking people questions, just a conversation where it's like, John Greed and I it's midnight and John Greed and I are just talking bullshit about nonsense. A swap cast, which like I would do one with you someday after we've done this, where
a what cast?
A swap cast. We record one podcast and we both put it on our feeds. Right. So the same episode is available on your feed and my feed. And then we both do an intro and yada, yada, yada. So we're trying to encourage people to listen to each other's podcasts.
Right.
Or I do a solo cast, which is just me yapping.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nice. No, that's nice that you want to record and hold people, at their will. Sometimes I get it, but sure.
No. There's buyer's remorse on my podcast. There's absolutely buyer's remorse. If you talk mad smack about somebody and you get it out of your system and then you go, I went a little too far with that, I'll take it out. I don't mind. I'm not looking to jackpot anybody. I want you to have fun doing my podcast so that you'll tell people to listen to it and maybe want to come back. I don't want anybody to think, oh, I've ruined my life. Stupid Kingdom and his dumb podcast. Enough people hate me, Jen. I want to go to my grave being, I don't know, 85% liked.
85% liked. Will
It's
you
gonna
be
take a lot of
married?
work. It's gonna take a lot of work for me to get the numbers up that high.
Will you be married?
I don't know. I'd like to be.
Okay, ladies.
I don't. I
Kingdom
don't even know.
Kingdom is single.
I don't even know that I don't even know that I need to be married. I would like somebody in my. You've heard me say this before. I would like somebody in my life who I'm important to. Who, you know, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I
Yeah,
need. It's been a while since I've
that's
had
a good
that.
thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I would. You know what I'd like? I'd like somebody who plans a birthday party for me. There you go. That's an actual high water mark.
No one's ever planned you a birthday party?
Since my mom, no. No one's
Really?
ever planned it. No, no one's ever planned a birthday party for me. No, that's sad, isn't it?
But is that because you always initiate, like, for example, that was it a karaoke night?
Yeah, that was my 45th birthday.
Yeah.
I wasn't with anybody. If I wanted to do something, I was the one who was going to be putting it together. It's oh God. Why are you making me? How did we get into make Anthony sad question?
Oh, did I forget? Did I forget to tell you the subject was relationships and love and romance?
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Talk about how much I hate you? Yeah. You know why? Because you moved away.
Oh,
Because you moved away. My friend is gone.
as I used to live
Like, I mean, I'm
5 minutes away from Kingdom when I was living in Toronto.
Yeah. And
Like
we used
dead
to
smack Toronto.
and we used to both work nightclub jobs.
Yep.
So we had a thing going for a while, late night breakfast club.
Yes.
And we would go out after we both finished work. We would meet at like what
Franz.
We would meet at various Franz
Yeah.
and have breakfast at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. And watch
Yeah.
stupid drunk people and
Yeah.
just
I miss my friend.
Makes me wonder why I'm there. Because I'm still watching stupid drunk people.
The only thing that abates the sense of disappointment in my friend moving away is seeing how well life and love has turned out for her.
Aw. Aw. No, I really do mean that.
Josh is solid people.
He is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
You were saying you cut out as soon as you said Josh.
Oh, okay. Is just that I'm now you have to do edits.
I do edits for all my podcasts. Ding what?
Don't yell at me.
You don't think I look out for my guests? Because I do.
You're such a wiener. No, I was saying that you and Josh are really great together. And I remember you being so down on the idea of even just meeting somebody. Who am I going to meet that doesn't suck? Was basically your attitude for a while.
Hold on. Who are you talking about? Yo,
I'm talking about you.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you,
a whole
Jennifer.
Year, for a whole year, I did not want to have anything to do with any guy.
What did I just say?
You said I was down about not having anybody. Who says I was down?
No. You were down on the idea. You were against the idea.
Oh.
Not down sad, down against.
Oh,
damn it.
My bad. God, can you say it again so I can just edit?
No, leave this in, Brent.
Oh, we know Brent wouldn't do shit. You just sit there.
What? But I say things, they confuse Brent. He argues with me. I explain a big word. And then he's like, oh, okay, Kingdom. or okay, Mr. Good. James. Mr. James is what he calls me when he's when he's frustrated.
Well, good. I'm glad we're figuring this out.
You were against the idea of meeting somebody for a long time, and then you secretly met with Josh, got together with Josh, and it's fantastic. I'm gonna tell you something. At your wedding, a bunch of us are sitting together, me and Saber and Brent, and who was the other person sitting with us?
Tarek.
I know Greed came in, but there was it Tarek?
You mean at the table?
No. At the wedding, at the ceremony.
Oh, the ceremony. Okay.
Yeah. So we're all sitting there. The ceremony begins, and then you and Josh say, "We have something to tell you all." And I leaned into Saber and I said, "They're already married."
You did not, you fucking liar.
Ask him. Ask him.
You did
I would not listen. I would not tell you this if I didn't say it to somebody who could verify it.
Would you? Now, was that just like a bullshit kind of
No.
haha?
No.
What? Something told you before that, oh, you know what? They're married.
When you, I just, it was just a flash of, I do this when I'm watching TV shows a lot, where like I'm seeing, I don't know, it's, I have a beautiful mind for bad sitcoms. I'm seeing like this thread and that thread, and it's like, what would make this story great in the next beat? Like, what should they do so the audience goes, "Oh my goodness." And you guys said, "We have something to tell you." And you both had these smirks on your faces. And I swear to God, I just leaned into Saber and I said, "They're already married." And then you guys said, "This is actually our first anniversary." Wink.
It was a beautiful moment. Yeah.
It was fantastic. But to me, that is proof positive of how good you guys are together.
I was like, what, like keeping a secret? I'm just kidding.
Yes, you would. We were a year behind on how much you loved each other, and then you had a public ceremony anyways, because I'm presuming because you wanted to share that with your friends and family.
Yes.
And then you told us this ridiculously sweet little secret that you would manage to keep. And I'm sure there were one or two people who knew. I bet you Julian knew. No, Julian didn't even know.
No.
Oh, sweet. Then it's even better.
No.
Who knew in that year?
My best friend, because her husband had to play our officiant.
That's it?
Yeah.
Your best friend and her husband?
Yeah.
You didn't tell anybody else?
No, I told you.
Oh my God,
it was sweet. Like our thing.
That's so sweet. It is. It's really sweet.
It was our thing.
That's awesome.
And obviously, like, I wanted the ceremony because I really wanted both my parents to walk me down.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. I was surprised when when you told me you were going to do a podcast. But I was also surprised, going backwards, when you started doing the show for Impact.
Yes.
Because again, the idea of putting a microphone in front of you 5+ years ago was why are you trying to poison me? You yes. wanted nothing to do with cutting promos or just, oh my God, woman, you can do this and you'd be good at it. Why won't you do it?
And I just hate it. I hate listening. I hate just hearing my voice. And I guess it's even worse live, because then I'm forced to listen to my voice in this loud, echoey, atmosphere. So
how did you manage to recite your vows?
I had paper in front of me. I got to read off of it.
All right.
and just not look at anybody.
Okay. All right.
But sometimes my husband, because it was hard looking at him too.
Was he feeding you lines?
What? No.
Having
Oh,
to
there was one. No,
hold
no, 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 no,
having to hold from this
no.
day forth in sickness and line.
Somewhere during that, no, no, no.
Health.
Somewhere during that, he was supposed to initiate and turn around and say, oh, we have some news. But like, I think he just got caught up in the moment. And then I
Yeah.
looked at him like, do it. You got to do it. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm going to make this less awkward.
Okay.
We had to cut because Kingdom decided to talk about nonsense.
Because I decided. Son of a
So
bitch.
I've already.
You're gonna try and throw me under the bus while I'm sitting here? Don't
I've already told him
tell
I'm
them what
editing.
happened so that you have to edit it again.
So we're jumping into this awkward moment.
Yeah.
Now.
Awkward for
Okay,
who?
now we're now. All right, let's talk about wrestling. Let's talk about wrestling.
If we have to.
Tell
talk
me
about wrestling.
Okay, I want to know, how did you get in the business? And when? 1900s?
Don't say 1900s like it's centuries ago.
But I do mean like it was centuries ago.
You were born when? In the 1900s?
I am a lot younger than you.
Okay. All right. I see how this is. This is just you. Folks listening to this episode, I just want you to know that I know what's happening here. Anything adversarial between us where Jade is getting the upper hand will be left in the episode.
You liar.
As long as it's going to be an hour of, even if it takes us 5 hours to record, it's going to be an hour of her making me look like a mook. And there'll be 4 hours of me frustrating her with double talk and personal questions left on the cutting room.
If you guys haven't realized, I love to just talk crap about Kingdom.
She's the meanest. She's mean to me. She beats me.
Oh, I need help. You know what type of shit you're saying? Putting out in the universe, in this universe now. This universe was in a universe that was like 5 years ago. Okay.
She beats me.
You're such a dink.
You don't think I'm gonna let you get away with it?
Stop getting off the subject. This editing is going to be
into
horrific.
Wrestling in the mid to late 80s. When I started, I went to an indie show at Humber College in Toronto.
Humber College?
I had been talking to the booker of the show, and we had gotten friendly, and I went to the show, and that was the first time we had met in person. And she was running a dirt sheet at the time, and that's how she got involved in booking this promotion. And and we became friends. And that was 86. And in 89, I started ring announcing for some local shows. And was working out in a ring in Hamilton for a while, and got out of wrestling for a bit. And then in 95, I came back to it.
So wait, how long of a break that was?
Oh, it was 3 years. It was 3 years. It was 3 years away from it.
Okay.
And yeah, but I'd been ring announcing for 89, 90, 91, 92. I'd been ring announcing for on and off for little groups, mostly in Hamilton. Mm-hmm. And then
is any reason why?
Any reason why?
You stepped away for a bit?
Yeah, it was a falling out with a friend, and falling out with the friend who was the booker at that first show. And
Oh,
I just said, you know, this is ridiculous. Like people I don't know this story of why we were at odds, and we're commenting on it, and it's like, what do I need this for? Little did I know that's all wrestling is. So it was I was learning about the internet 10 years in advance. So I stepped away, and then in 95 I was working with some people, and one of them had been trained by had finished training with uh Missing Links with Dewey Robertson and his son Jason Sterling, jumping Jason Sterling. And he
mhm.
had built a ring, and he wanted me to check it out, and I went and checked out his ring, and it's, you know, like the first time in years and years I'd taken a bump. And I used to say, I think this is what heroin is like.
Oh my God.
Because it only took one bump, and I was, okay, I'll do this again. And from there it was full steam ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, what year is it? 2021. So like 32 years on and off. Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy.
So then I know you traveled a bit. And was it
But
because did you live in
I lived
Pennsylvania?
in I lived in Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
twice, 2 years total. I was there for 8 months the first time in end of 96, beginning of 97. And then I came home for a few years. And then in a couple of years. And then in 99, summer of 99, I went back, and I was down there for a year and a half.
Mm,
Came back when I think I went down in May of 99, beginning of May 99, and came back beginning of November, I want to say, of 2000. So a year and a half. Yeah.
okay. And then after doing some wrestling and such, you actually opened your own wrestling promotion.
Yeah. I was at the time I was ring announcing for XPW, and this was uh 2001, 2002, when they were running shows in Philadelphia. Shane Douglas and Cody Michaels had joined the promotion, and they were trying to legitimize it a bit and expand. And they had always been a Southern California promotion. And so first things first, they went into Philly and started running at Viking Hall, which everybody knew as ECW Arena.
Mhm.
And I became their East Coast ring announcer, and we did Philadelphia, and then we did Pittsburgh, and there were plans for I know there were definite plans for New Orleans, and I think there was I talked to Cody recently, and I think there were plans for Boston and somewhere in Ohio.
Mhm.
Um, and then Rob Black, the promoter, got arrested by the feds. So
Oh,
actually,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
We're
but
going down that route. Okay.
well, that's as much as I feel like talking about Rob Zakari, weirdo. But near the end of it, I had been working for promotion in Erie, Pennsylvania, and the promoter at the time, he just felt snake bitten. Like every time he tried to run a show, something happened. And I think the last time he got run off the road by a bad driver while he was trying to bring the ring to the venue. And
Jeez.
he just had enough. And I said, and I thought, I really love I like this town. I like this crowd. Would you mind if I ran? Would you help me a little if I ran shows here. And it was the stupidest decision of my life. Like, why would you run a show? Why would you run a show a border away from where you live? But, you know, anyways. So I started running shows there, and part of the plan, I was talking to XPW about getting their assistance. I think this is one of the reasons why, but this reason went away quickly because of Rob getting arrested, and I still carried on with the idea. But what we were going to do was, if they were going to run Pittsburgh on a Saturday night, or Saturday, Sunday, or Pittsburgh and somewhere else for a weekend, then I would run the Friday in Erie, and they would help me out by sending one or two people early that I could use. And I said, and we had a handshake on, if there's anybody from anywhere in the East Coast that you want to see in person, and don't want to put them on TV,
Yeah.
send them. You tell me, and I'll make sure there's a spot for them. And they'll work one of my shows, and you can decide whether or not there's somebody you really want to use.
Mm-hmm.
And we were still talking about stuff and shaking hands and saying this would be a great idea for all of us. And Rob got arrested and the promotion went away. So, but I still I ran for about a year in Erie, and then I shut it down. It wasn't.
It didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense on a lot of levels. And there were some good shows, and there were a couple of half decent crowds, but it didn't make sense on a lot of levels. So it stopped, and I didn't run again for about 3 years, and then I started running in Toronto.
I love that long-winded answer I got.
You've known me a long time, Jen. If there's one thing I am, it's an over-explainer.
So are we back to where my question comes in then? My previous question?
Your question was, how did I start running?
Your promotion. Oh, okay. I guess you meant your Pennsylvania, your Erie promotion.
Erie, Pennsylvania was the Union of Independent Professional Wrestlers.
Oh, so you actually... So that started in Erie, and then you brought it to Toronto.
Yeah, it started
I see.
The union started as a gimmick for a stable in 1999, not too long after The Sopranos came out on HBO. My friend Billy Comer and I wanted to do a union gimmick, where we would, like a corrupt union gimmick, where we would picket people's matches. We would come down to the ringside with like folding lawn chairs and just sit there, and it would be, it was no work jobs. We'd show up, but we wouldn't work. We wanted to do all kinds of stupid, goofy union things. And I came up with the logo and made shirts. And when it came time to actually run a promotion, I was trying to think of what to call it. And I was like, wait a minute. I already have a good name and the merch. I already have the merch. Why would I call it anything other than
but like,
the union?
Was it just between you and that Rob guy who shared the name?
Oh, no, Bill Comer. No,
so did you get any crap from just taking the name?
No. Bill, I came up with it, and then Bill and I came up with ideas for like the gimmick, right? So when it came time to use the name for a show, Bill came in and partnered with me on the first couple of shows, but like the name was always mine.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, Bill's Bill's long out of the business. He's living in Florida now, and I still talk to him once or twice a year. I catch up on him. He and his wife had a kid, and he's good. Wrestling, yeah. So I don't know. Felt the need to tell you how Bill Comer is doing.
That's good.
Yeah.
No idea, but okay.
For anybody who's asking, Uncle Billy is fine.
Yeah. Okay, so then you started your wrestlers union, right?
Yep.
Wrestlers union. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why it sounded different. And then you started managing. Maybe not started. I should not word it like that. You also managed.
I had managed people like a little, but I guess it was 2001, Valentine's Day 2001. I broke my ankle, and
walking.
Like literally, I was walking for a bus. I was leaving.
Oh geez, I can't believe I was right. It's like you at my wedding saying, "Oh, they're married." I just said it from walking.
Yeah. From walking. Here's 25 words or less. I was working daytime at a strip club in Burlington. I was bored. It was Valentine's Day. The place was dead. I was bored out of my tree. I had just the night before bought a new.
That's 25 words.
Yeah. Well, suffer. I had just the night before bought a new DVD player, but I hadn't bought any DVDs. So I called the evening DJ, said, "Tim, can you come and cover for me?" And I remember on my way out, the one waitress looking at me and going, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm leaving early. So long, suckers." And 3 minutes later,
oh my gosh,
it had been raining all day, and it turned into snow, and I was walking across a little section of grass at a bus stop, and my left foot sank into the ground, and my right foot went out from underneath me, and I took a full bump to my back, and my left foot never moved.
Oh, dude.
I could hear the sound up through my body. And I remember the bus stopped and the driver opened the doors, and I'm lying there on my back, and I managed to get my foot unwedged. I'm holding my leg up, and the bus is just sitting there, and I yell out, "Hey," and I'm laughing because whenever I get hurt really bad, I laugh. And I'm laughing, and I yell out, "Hey, think I could get a little help out here?"
And he drove off?
And he comes out, and I say, "I think I broke my leg."
Oh my God.
And he says, "Can you move your foot?" And I go, "A little." And he takes my leg in one hand and shakes my leg.
He shook your leg. Okay.
He shook my leg and goes, "You're fine." And then they help me up, and I get on the bus, and I take the bus and transfer to another bus and go to Brant in the hospital in Burlington. The second bus driver was much more helpful. He called ahead and had them meet me at the curb with a wheelchair.
That's
the
sweet.
First guy can still burn in hell for all I care. But I ended up with 4 screws in my leg, two in either bone.
Yikes.
And I thought, well, this is probably it. So I started leaning into the idea of promoting shows and managing and doing commentary, all that, all the stuff that I didn't have to run. So yeah, and it was a while before I managed like one person steadily, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times it was like some little promotion, and they're doing their first or second show, and
just trying to figure it out.
and yeah, and they're like, Kingdom, I'm gonna have you manage this guy. Okay. And it
Yeah.
didn't stuff that didn't last very long
Hmm.
until probably until I started managing Brent, the aforementioned Brent Banks.
Hmm.
He's probably the first guy that I managed like regularly and long term, and
Yeah.
it was always cool. I love working with Brent.
Speaking of working with people,
Mm.
I got the call from a friend back then for me if I was interested in coming back to the business.
Oh yes, yes you did.
When I was taking my break, I went back to school and such, but that call couldn't have come at a better time in my life. And at first, he was saying, I'll just, how do you feel about, coming in to like announce or something, and then we'll work you into managing after that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, it was something I needed so bad for myself,
Okay,
right? And
because
just to like,
I know
hang
this.
on, hang
No,
on.
hold on. I'm not saying, I'm not giving away anything. I'm just gonna say, because I know this story from my side of things, and I'm very interested to hear what
Yeah, so that's
your
why I'm
side of
asking
this.
you. That's why I'm
Yeah,
asking you. That's
yeah,
why I'm bringing it up. And I haven't brought this up, which is surprising. But hey, makes makes
yeah.
for a
No, no,
good
no. I want
podcast,
to
I
hear.
guess.
I want to hear how the conversation went from your side.
Okay, so he told me, just gonna start me off doing announcing or such and then work my way into it. And then I think it was like a couple weeks later, I
Mm-hmm.
asked him, I said, because he didn't reach out again. I'm like, is this still a go? Like, do you still want me to do? He's like, yeah, yeah. Actually, uh, Kingdom says, just to have you straight up start managing. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, that sounds a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what was that conversation you had with that guy?
That guy. We're calling him that guy, are we?
We are calling him that guy
Okay.
because,
No,
you
you don't
know,
have to tell me why. It's your show. You set the pace. Um, okay, so that guy and I were having a conversation as he was transforming his promotion into something new.
oh, okay.
And we were talking about how he wanted what he wanted to do differently. And slightly different roster and blah 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 blah. And he mentioned that he'd spoken to you about coming back in and that he didn't know what to do with you. And before he finished that sentence, I said, give her to us. Give her to us. Because at that point, I was managing Brent Banks and Tarek,
Uh-huh.
and we were called the Guerrilla Army.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if we were gonna switch things up, if we were gonna do something new, I absolutely promise you, I bit his hand off to get a hold of you before he came up with something else to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
What
What
are
do
you
you
gonna do
say?
with what are you gonna do with her? And I said, I'm gonna make her the problem solver. This is where the nickname Buzzsaw came from.
Mm-hmm.
I said, none of that bullshit that they did with her with Ring of Honor where she's a step stool or any of that nonsense. No. Can I drop an F-bomb on this show?
You can, but okay, no, I'm gonna let you
I
finish. I'm
said
gonna let you
she
finish.
okay. I'll tone it down. I said she's an effing killer. I want when we have a problem with somebody, I just want to throw her at them and let her eviscerate them. I want her to just cut through them like a buzzsaw.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
is a lot of fun.
yeah, but that is exactly that was spur of the moment. As soon as I heard your name, that was my immediate pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Give her to us. And I was like, the words hadn't even finished coming out of his mouth, and all I was thinking is, if this is true, if she's coming back, we've got to have her it will make the gimmick complete. And we changed up the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know how we got the name of the group?
No.
Okay. So Tarek and Jade, I'm talking to the listeners now. Tarek and Brent and Jade and I formed a stable known as All Black Everything. And we had been, the promoter and I had been trying to come up with names. And it was, hey, come up with a name. Okay, yeah. And in a conversation we were having, somehow we were talking about each other's wardrobe, and he sent me a photo of his closet, and it was black t-shirts, and all he said in the text message was all black everything, homie. And I said, that's the name of the group. That's the name of the group, All Black Everything. And then I found a song and he found a song, and my song wasn't Kid Cudi. I can't remember right now. Lupe Fiasco. It was Lupe Fiasco. And then he found the Soulja Boy song.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, we were going back and forth about it, and I wanted something that, was by a smarter rapper. And in the end, we made some kind of a deal where I said, okay, you can play that song for us, but I get to blah, blah, blah. And I don't even remember what the blah, blah, blah was. But that's how we got the Soulja Boy song as our entrance.
And it's good. What the heck are you talking about?
It is good.
You
it is good.
Know
and once no. It had nothing to do with the quality of the song. It had to do with, if I had to choose between two rappers, Lupe Fiasco or Soulja Boy, I'd go with Lupe Fiasco every time. But in terms of the two songs whose titles were All Black Everything, the Soulja Boy song was a much better song as entrance music.
Okay, what song was it? I want to hear it now. What song was it? I want to hear it now.
Oh, what, the Lupe Fiasco song?
Yeah.
It's called All Black Everything.
Oh.
They each had a song called All Black Everything. But the Soulja Boy song's way better as entrance music. So in the end, I was like, okay, I wish I could remember what the deal I made with him was. But I said, if you let me do this, then you can pick whatever song. And
it's a good song. Yes. It had a great beat.
It
just made you feel. It made you feel so like
it was
stuck up type of way. You know, it was such a good beat.
It was uppity. That's what.
And obviously, we were, for everyone, we were a heel group.
Oh, we were very heel.
Yeah.
At one point, we paid Abyss to win the heavyweight title and hand it over to us.
Yep.
And at that point, all four of us would come to the ring wearing separate championship belts. It was the ultimate Freebird gimmick. We were ridiculous, and it was so much fun. 2015, best year of wrestling in my life.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Definitely.
I had two really fantastic gimmicks going at the same time. I had All Black Everything, and then in Hamilton, I had the Oppression at Alpha One
with Justin and
with
Lionel.
Brent again.
Oh, and Brent too, right?
Yeah, Brent, Lionel Knight. Almost said his shoot name. Brent, Lionel Knight, Justin Sane, and Underhood was Preston Miles. And then at one point we kicked Brent out of the group because he was being too babyface with people, and we replaced him in the ultimate Owen Hart move. We replaced him with Brian Myers.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So Brian Myers was briefly the crown jewel of all black everything.
Mm-hmm. And speaking, since you brought up Crown Jewel,
Yeah.
I cut you off before.
Yeah,
Not
you
because
kind of have to cut me off sometimes.
I cut you off before, not because that you wanted to drop the F-bomb. That I don't care. Be yourself.
Oh, okay.
But the way that you explain the Ring of Honor stuff, to me, that wasn't like bullshit. So I'm gonna call you out on it right now.
Okay. So tell me where I'm wrong. I'm willing to listen.
Because you're saying it in a negative way. If it's something that you didn't enjoy.
Oh, no. Listen, there are a couple of words I use so that I don't say gimmick all the time. And the two words I use a lot are bullshit and nonsense. And I use those words the same way people would say stuff or, the thing that happened. That's bullshit.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's just me. But I often, you will like on my own podcast or just in general, you'll hear me say nonsense a lot. Like thanks for listening to my nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or come enjoy the nonsense with us.
Okay, so going back to All Black Everything, was the Abyss storyline, would you say that's like your most favorite thing that happened?
No. Like,
what was your favorite memory?
You mean my favorite thing in All Black Everything?
Yeah.
No, because we had a couple of people who were in for like one show. Abyss was in for one show, and then a year later he came back, and we kind of rounded things off.
Yeah.
And Stokely Carmichael was in for one show. And what's Stokely's name in NXT now?
Malcolm Bivens.
Malcolm Bivens. Thank you.
But what did you call him? Stokely what?
I keep calling him Stokely Carmichael because there's a historical figure named Stokely Carmichael, but he was Stokely.
I'm so confused. Hathaway.
Hathaway. Thank you. Stokely Carmichael is an actual historical figure.
I don't doubt that coming from you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's a backhanded compliment at best, Brent. So we had a few people come in for like one show or whatever. And the same thing happened in Alpha One with the oppression. We had Kobe Durst with us for a show, and we kicked Brent out and had Brian Myers with us for a couple of shows. But the thing that pleased me most about both groups is when it was that core foursome of you and me and Brent and Tarek in the ring, and I'm cutting promo and Tarek is jumping up and down like a maniac and you're cursing at fans and Brent is like just smiling and preening and holding his belt or whatever. When it was just the four of us, those are my favorite times.
Yeah, we all had different personalities.
Yeah.
Like super different.
Yep. And we made for such a good stable. And at the time, all I wanted was, can we just get in a car and go somewhere and work Detroit or work Pittsburgh or Buffalo?
Which we all did talk about.
We all did talk about, and never happened.
No, obviously not.
It made me sad because it's a Dr. Seuss moment. Oh, the places we could have gone.
Yep. And then the day happened where we were told that we were going to break up.
Yeah, because you know what ended up happening. I remember what ended up happening near the end of that year is uh my I had moved my mom back in 2012 from California,
Mhm.
and as time went, she needed more attention. She needed
Yeah.
more care, and I decided that I was going to hang it up at the end of 2015.
Mhm.
So I was wrapping things up for Super Kicked, and I was wrapping things up for Alpha One. And at near the in the fall of that year, um, I had a show I was going to miss because of a comic convention, and one or the other of you guys, more than one of you guys, had shows that you were going to miss for various reasons. So there was a point where I think we went like like there was like two shows in between, so 3 months, from the last time we were all together in one place. And we filmed a promo where I got pissed off at you guys, and I said, yeah, fine, do it without me. And it was just leading, stuff that was actually happening was leading to a perfect moment for us to break it up.
Mhm.
I also think maybe we were getting over too well. But and at the same time, I was wrapping things up in Hamilton, and it was leading to Brent and I in a singles match as a loser leaves town.
Mhm.
And yeah, it just worked out. But that was November of 2015,
Mhm.
and Super Kick came back, convinced me to come back after that for one show in December of that year, just promo stuff. And that's when Abyss was back, and my last thing there was he choke slammed me, and like I think a shoe actually flew off. Um, and then I was done, and it wasn't. It's maybe 6 weeks after that. No, it was a month. It was a month after that my mom passed away.
Mhm.
She December 30th she had a stroke,
Mhm.
and uh and then she went downhill and she passed away middle of January.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure it was you that got me to come to Alpha One
Mhm.
in April of 2016. I think it was you that gave me shit and said, "Look, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're sitting at home. Come to the show."
Mhm.
And I think it was the day after my birthday that year. And Shane Douglas was there, and I hadn't seen Shane in a few years, and you were going to be there, and it just friends that I hadn't
Mhm.
seen in a few months. And that's when I started doing commentary for Alpha One, because it was too much fun to be around everybody again.
Yeah.
So,
See, I always say like pro wrestling always pulls you back in,
oh yeah,
and when you least expect it, but when you most need it.
pro wrestling is the mob. It's organized crime. Nobody gets out. Nobody really gets out. You go out. You go out in a pine box. And I mean, that time at the end of 2015, I used the word retirement because um I thought I needed to. I thought I needed everybody to know that I was not going to be available, because I had responsibilities that superseded, silly fake fighting fun time. And um and I wish I still had those responsibilities, but I don't. So it let me life let me come back to silly fake fighting fun time. But at that moment, it was, why am I here in a locker room in Hamilton when, if I'm going to be getting phone calls saying, hey, I need your help with something. Like if I had gotten that phone call, and I was, in Hamilton waiting to go to the ring, like, what do I
Mm-hmm.
do?
Mm-hmm.
I have to find somebody who was in the first match and say, here's my pay for the day. Get me to Toronto right now.
Yeah.
It was the reason that my cell phone was never turned off for 5 years, because I
Yeah.
was waiting for the bad thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And now here you are.
Hey, sad stuff.
No, but you took care of your mom and
Yeah, I tried. I wouldn't let her have a dog though. Oh my God, she was so mad at me. I wouldn't let her have a dog. Hey, you're in a wheelchair and your eyesight is getting progressively worse. How are you going to take care of a dog? And I don't want to take care of a dog.
why
And
didn't you get
then
her a cat?
same
You
reason I
like
didn't want her to
cats.
get a same reason I didn't want her to get a dog. Like, I mean, I if she'd been in a little better shape, then yeah, I could have gotten her a cat. I would have gotten her a cat. But um the time of her living on her own was coming to an end.
Oh, yeah.
One of the reasons that I decided to quit was because my mom had been back in the hospital for a big portion of 2015. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons she was there is her condition was worsening, really, really badly. And I struck a deal with the hospital, a little handshake under the table, to keep her there
Mm-hmm.
until we could get her placed in a good nursing home.
Yeah.
And she ended up going to the place where her mother spent her last couple of years, which
Oh.
was ironic. But it was just the best place in the city. It was, I looked at from that time, I looked at a bunch of places,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and this spot, hello Chloe, and this spot was like just the best. I had no qualms whatsoever about the level of care that she was going to get there. The
Yeah.
problem is, it took so long to the waiting list. It took her so long to get there that by the time she got there, she only really had a month before she
Mm-hmm.
had her stroke. She had a previous stroke, but this one, and it had affected her a little, but this one was it just wiped her out. It just wiped her out.
Yeah.
So she only had a month and in the place
Mm-hmm.
before before the bad thing happened. So
Yeah. And I remember you looking for places too, because
yeah.
it was the same time. I don't know if um, I was going through the same thing where I was searching for my mom as well, or
Yeah, I think
if,
you had, I think, ow, hey, claws. I think you had just started when I had seen a bunch of seen the first few places. I think you were just starting,
yeah.
or just getting everybody on board to start, and
Hmm.
you were dealing with geography problems.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And was someplace going to be close enough to everybody or anybody. And yeah.
Well, I just remember it being like, oh, just
Yeah.
just hard looking for places, and like you had to. There were lists, there were waiting lists, and they
Yeah.
sucked. And I know that I wanted one that was super close, but the waiting list for that was like ridiculous. Like it was right at Papen Danforth.
Yeah. Yep. And the place I found was the other side of the city. But I was so impressed with the place, and she was able to get a private room, and like everything I wanted out of a place, she got there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was uh it was it alleviated a lot of my anxiety that this was the place that came up first, because there were, anything else was going to be a fair drop off in quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not want to. You only get so many kicks at the can. You can only say no so many times on that waiting list. I think a couple of times before you drop down to the bottom of all the waiting lists again.
Yeah.
So I was lucky that the place that we wanted was the first place to say, you know what, we have an opening, and it's what you want. So I was lucky. I don't want to go through that shit again, man.
It's tough, and it's it requires you to go through stress.
Yeah.
It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But
I don't have kids for a reason. Well, multiple reasons, but but I don't I don't like being solely responsible for anybody else's well-being and happiness. It's one of the reasons it took me this long just to get a cat. Again, it's been it's 25 years in between cat ownership for me, and now I have this
you kept saying like,
yeah,
I really want one, but
I
I'm like, just
absolutely
go
wanted a
get
cat.
one.
But here's the thing. Now I have this little ball of fur and razor blades, like currently sitting at my feet. She was just pawing at my leg because she wants attention. She wants me to play with her or something, right? So even when if I just sit down to eat, she'll come over and she'll dig a claw into my leg, and that's a hey, and she's starting to get vocal about it too. She's starting to meow, and it's like sad. And then if I'm not paying attention to her, she'll go off and sulk, right? She'll paw at me. She's pawing at me right now. It's happening right now. If I say no,
thanks for the live commentary.
Yeah, well, it's what happens. She's so cute. But if I'm doing something, I can't pay attention to her too. And she'll go off and sulk. And all I'm thinking is there is a living being in my apartment, and it's sad because of me. And I don't want to go through my life and ever, I'm thinking about my mom.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through my life and ever have somebody be able to turn to me and say, you made things worse for me, even for a moment. And I have to live knowing that there are people who are worse off because they encountered me. And that upsets me.
Wait, what do you mean?
Everything is, the butterfly effect, right? A butterfly flaps its wings and it changes the air current. Mm-hmm. And that affects a ship on the sea somewhere else. it's an old philosophical debate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There are people in everybody's life that every contact affects them somehow, and sometimes positively, and sometimes negatively, sometimes in too minuscule a manner for them to even perceive, to even know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not so unaware of myself that I don't know that I have been a horrible, horrible thing in some people's lives. Like everybody has made somebody's life less good in some way on some day. And I struggle with that.
But okay, let's look at it this way. Have there been people that have wronged you?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
and I know how I feel about them. So my problem is that I also know that I've been that person in other people's lives.
and are those
you
people,
understand?
I
You
know
understand
I'm
what I'm saying?
understanding. I'm
Yeah.
understanding.
Okay.
But to me, I think I'm just on a different, I'm definitely on a different level where I just don't give a fuck. Like who these people that you're thinking of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they hold anything of importance that you would still want to think about them? Like, are they that important?
Some are.
Are we
Some
talking
are.
family?
Some, like my mother. When I say I wouldn't let my mother have a dog,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or when I think about the fact that I made a deal with the people at Toronto General to basically keep her there for 9 months in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
which she fucking hated. It was a
But
prison sentence.
was it the only smart choice at the time?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's nothing for you to feel bad. It was a call that needed to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You and this is coming from me, and you know me because I went through this.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself too. Okay, you can't, if you can help, you help, but you can't just alter your entire life, especially when the hospital is there to help you. I mean, if you've got like zero help, there's no other choice,
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah, but the you're raising kids, and that the best choice isn't always is oftentimes not the happy choice. Hey, I'm doing this for your benefit. You will thank me later.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the right thing to do, and I'm trying to teach you right from wrong.
But I don't want you to feel bad about it. And
No,
I think
but that's not the thing. I don't regret the decision. I don't regret that in that particular case. I don't regret the decision at all. What I have heartache over is how the smart decision affected her.
so you think because she was unhappy at the hospital for the 9+ months, you think that deteriorated her health?
Well, I mean, her health was already deteriorating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a matter of it was deteriorating her health. At a certain point, they came to her and said, we're thinking about a further amputation to your leg. And she said no.
Mm-hmm.
She had had enough taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she was making a decision about where she was heading.
Yeah.
So my problem is, my regret, my sorrow is that any day on, that final path was less than happy, was emotionally damaging, as well as, in addition to what was happening physically. She had spent enough time in the hospital when she first got ill in California
Mm-hmm.
that she just didn't want to be in the hospital. And when she had had accidents previous to this in like 2013 or 2014, and she had to spend some time in hospital, it just it, it became trying to put a child down for a nap. I don't need to be here. Can we go home?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
repeat that phrase over and over again for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's what I dealt with one night at Toronto East General,
Yeah.
after the fucking cops had to call me, and I had to have somebody cover for me at work because she had gone off a curb and hit her head.
Oh my gosh.
So, so sometimes I think about my mom and it makes me sad. And sometimes I think about her and all I wish I had gotten her to teach me how to make those fucking pancakes.
Shut up.
It's true. It's true. There were more crepe than pancake, and I never took the time to find out how she made them. I think she told me once. I didn't write it down. I'm a dummy. So
Well, listen, you did the best that you could for her.
this is the happiest podcast you've recorded yet, isn't it? Jesus, what the fuck's with that guy? And you'll notice I'm swearing more.
Listen,
change the subject,
I'm going
Jade.
to change the subject, but I just want you to know
Talk
that
about the cat.
you
She's
did
a
the best
lovely
that you
cat.
could. Oh
She's
my
a
God. All right, fine.
she's-
We're going to start playing
She's got extra
my
toes.
game, this or
she's
that. Oh my God.
polydactyl.
You're just not going to shut up.
So she's got an extra toe on each paw, and her front paws look like children's mittens.
Would you rather your cat go on the podcast? Do you need a breather?
No, I'm good. She's here if you want to talk to her. I could pick her up. She'll squeal and claw me.
Do it. I just want her to claw you.
No way. Anyways, I'm fine.
Good.
Dark.
I hope that you actually are.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Honestly, you did the best that you could. And with your hours that you work, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. You're put into a position and you don't have any other, your brother is far. And so it's not like you have any other help.
My brother's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Though I will say this, that in the aftermath of her being gone, we finally started getting along. There was a point, my brother and I had a notoriously awful relationship for years. Mm-hmm. And there was a point after she passed away that we put our shit away. And now I talk to my brother almost daily. I love the bastard. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's one good thing, right? Yeah. That your mom brought you and your brother together. I remember how much you hated him.
Yeah, he's a jerk. He's a jerk, but he's my jerk. So he's my idiot.
All right, let's switch things up.
Okay.
Let's play a little bit of this or that.
Okay.
I'm going to say two things and you're just going to choose which you prefer. All right.
Can I preface this by saying I did something similar on my Instagram last week, and you yelled at me
Oh, yes.
because I didn't choose one of what. So it was my friend
Yeah, you're a
Adam from
smart ass.
my friend Adam from Pittsburgh said WWE or AEW, or no, WWE or WCW. And I said New Japan. And you yelled at me because of the
To
way I
choose
answered
one.
somebody else's
Yeah,
question.
choose
Yeah.
one. Your initial question was,
Yeah.
give me a blank, blank, blank,
Yeah.
or blank, blank, blank
Yeah.
to choose from.
And
Yeah, and you didn't do it.
I decided to be a smart ass about one of them. And you yelled at me.
Listen, the moment you don't play by the rules,
made me feel bad.
the moment you don't play by the rules, my rules, I'm going to stop recording. All right, listen, this or that. First one.
Yeah.
Would you rather date a doctor or a scientist?
What kind of scientist? That's actually important to this, I think. And what kind of doctor?
Well, I don't know. See, you got to choose one.
Yeah, but I need slightly more information. I need to make a more informed
Okay, the
choice.
best doctor that there is, the best scientist that there is.
What kind of doctor? Bill Cosby was a doctor, quote unquote.
Okay,
you mean just like a medical doctor, like a
surgeon.
family doctor?
A surgeon. A surgeon.
Okay, what kind of surgeon?
Why is this so hard?
I don't know.
Why are we getting so intricate with stuff?
Doctor. No, wait. See?
Oh my God.
I want more information to decide. All right, doctor, whatever. Doctor. I'm getting old. I'm gonna need help soon. Doctor.
Okay, there you go. That's a good choice for that. Would you rather turn up at a wedding or a birthday party?
Would I rather what?
Turn up. Please tell me you know what that means.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. I know you kids speak a different English than I do. So you mean get S-face drunk and party at
there you
wedding?
Go. Yes, turn up.
Yeah.
Wedding or birthday party?
Wedding. I even when I wasn't drinking, I would still drink at weddings. I like weddings.
And yeah, you don't really drink until recently, right?
Yeah, I used to drink like it was my job, and I was employee of the month.
What do you drink? Like what
now?
You were saying like
vodka soda.
Not alcohol.
My particular poison these days is vodka soda.
What kind of vodka?
It was Grey Goose until recently, and then I would have to go through the recycling to tell you, I think I got rid of the bottle already. Shoot.
You switched it from Grey Goose, a premium vodka.
Oh, I found another one that is like I called an expert. I was like in the LCBO. I was in the liquor store, and I saw something else that was cheaper, and I'd heard the name of it. And I called a friend and I was like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I got a review of it. I got a review of it, and I switched. And I know where it is in the liquor store, so I can find it again. But I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden. Dang.
Is it international?
Hold on. I'm going to the LCBO
oh my
website.
God. Okay, we'll just you do that.
Go on to other questions, and I will. Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be a really fast illustrator or a really fast reader?
Illustrator. Oh my God. If I had enough confidence in my art and I could draw a page a day, I would be so happy. Page a day, a comic book page a day would be
okay, so we'll get back to comic books, but how long does it usually take for you to illustrate one page?
Oh, of a comic book.
Yes.
Um, I don't know for me personally because I don't think I've ever finished what you would call a traditional comic book page. I've done some of my comic strip stuff that has had like enough panels that I could make a full page out of it. But I've never taken one of my own scripts and finished a page from it. I
Did you
always
not
get,
have?
I
No,
get
I thought.
Kettle
Did you
One
not?
is the vodka.
Oh my God. I was going to say Kettle One.
Yeah, it's Kettle One.
Kettle One is gross.
Really? I liked it.
Yeah.
I
Ugh.
liked it.
Ugh.
Ugh, me.
Anyway, Kettle One. Um,
I'll fight you. I'll get
dude, go back
I'll
to
get
Grey
liquored
Goose,
up and
okay?
fight you.
Oh my God.
Uh,
All right. Okay. Next one. M&Ms or Skittles?
M&M's, Skittles are the devil. Peanut M&M's.
Why don't you like Skittles?
Skittles are terrible.
Man, you are
I think
just
you I
missing
think you
out.
know I think you know me well enough by now to know that I'm not like I'm not big on chocolate. And I'm not big on like super sweet stuff. And Skittles are uh just flavored sugar goo in a coating.
Oh my God.
I don't like
Everyone hates you
Skittles.
right now.
Everyone can
Everyone
F
hates you.
off. Everyone, yeah, meet me on the street. Fight me on the street about Skittles.
Everyone,
We'll
you can just skip to the next episode. I'll
hit you with
definitely have a better guest.
Oh, wow. That's hurtful.
You just told everybody that you'd fight them.
About Skittles and anybody who's willing to throw hands about a terrible candy.
Man,
Why do you like Skittles?
you have all sorts of good news, eh? Happy news. Skittles are so good. I don't know what
Ew.
you're talking about.
No, they're too
Okay,
sweet. Too sweet.
ugh. Last one. Would you
Peanut
rather?
peanut
Oh my
M&Ms.
God.
Last one. I'm enjoying these. Give me 8 or 9 more.
Be a hero or a villain?
Everyone is the hero of their own story. So, in the end, there's no real difference.
You know, that's pretty true.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. Here, I'm gonna say a thing because I feel like saying a thing. And when can you stop me? The comic books I write, I like writing redemption stories. I
Mm.
like writing people who are flawed or have failed at something or have lost something and who maybe not necessarily get it back, but find a new way forward, are able to find a new them again.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like villains. I love villains because honestly, no matter how effed up the thing you're doing is, you've got a reason you're doing it. You are the hero of your own story. I especially love, it's one of the reasons I love Doctor Doom so much, because everything he's doing, he thinks he's doing to make the nation of Latveria better. And all these heroes, like there's always there's stories where like the Fantastic Four goes to liberate the people of Latveria and they're throwing eggs at the Fantastic Four because life is good here. I don't know what you mean.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the subject. Okay. Let's talk about you drawing your comic strips.
Okay.
So I didn't know the difference. I was pretty sure you had your own like book, like comic book. Was I
Stuff
wrong?
that
What
I've
is it? The
written.
home, yeah.
Heroes of Homeroom C. I wrote
Yeah.
but it was drawn by a fellow named
Oh, right.
Carlos Granda. I have
Right.
I have never drawn any of my own comic books.
Right. You wrote
what
them all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got that screwed up.
No, that's okay. I actually I woke up this morning and sudden I just had to tell myself in my head, don't start singing the theme song to The Sopranos. I woke up this morning and sent out like a 3-paragraph text message to a bunch of my friends because I'm trying to decide which old script to dust off and complete and find an artist and start work on a book for a Kickstarter, a comic book. And
Nice.
I had 3 to choose from that I liked and like are mostly done, and was soliciting opinions. So I was doing some writing earlier today, and now tomorrow I will probably start combing the web to find a new artist. Yeah.
Very nice. So you have
Yes.
picked the script that you're going to
finish.
Yeah. Okay.
There I had 3 choices, and 2 of them were going to be like 5-issue miniseries. And what I would do is I would just work on like the first issue with somebody and kickstart it issue by issue. And the one that enough of my friends chose was one that's one story. Somewhere it's going to end up being somewhere between 56 and 60 pages. So, yeah. So it's going to be a little more intricate, a little more involved as far as fundraising goes, crowdfunding goes, because you got to pay the artist for 60 pages instead of 25, right? But yeah, either way, like, I mean, I wouldn't have been upset if my friends had picked any of the 3 projects. I just want to get something. I need to get something new off the ground.
Well, that's fun. And you're gonna start looking for your artist tomorrow, you said?
Yeah. I had somebody I was talking to about a year ago about it, and then I put it on hold for other things, for other projects. And so I might contact this guy again, but his response might be, hey, what happened to you a year ago?
Yeah, well,
but
COVID.
yeah, this is like part of the process for all of the books I've done is complete a script, find an artist, get them working, start a Kickstarter, and then send the pages to the printer. So yeah,
nice.
It's good. I mean, from doing this show for yourself now, what better thing is there than to start with nothing and create something from scratch?
Yeah.
So
actually, you did illustrate something.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
You did some illustrations for Stone Cold Steve Austin's newest book.
Yeah, it's actually was written by a cat named Mike McAvenny, who used to write for WWE, and he worked at DC Comics for a while. And he did a little book called, let me get this right, Austin 316, 316 Facts and Stories About Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. And they wanted to add some illustrations to this thing. And so I auditioned basically and got approved. They had to get approval from like WWE legal and Triple H and Austin himself and the author. and everybody said yes, and I ended up doing 12 illustrations for this book, which is out
Wow.
now. It's out now wherever fine books are sold.
How long did it take you to do all 12?
Um, oh geez, a couple of
Did they
weeks.
did they also give you like a timeline?
No, they didn't give me a deadline, which is terrible when you're dealing with me, because because I'll just don't have to do it today. I'll procrastinate like a
Yeah, you got Coronation.
I got Coronation Street to watch. I mean, what trouble is Steve McDonald gonna get into today on the cobbles?
It's
Why
just
are
Stone
you?
Cold Steve Austin.
Why are
He
you?
can wait.
Stop, yeah. Stop mocking my British soap operas. Well, actually, soap opera. It's only the one. I won't. I don't like any of the others.
So cool. Did you post any of like your stuff that you
Oh
illustrated
yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah,
book?
yeah. There's I've posted on Twitter and on Instagram a few of the illustrations themselves.
Mm,
And people on my Patreon got a couple of updates while I was working on stuff.
that's cool.
So yeah.
Did you have to send them off for approval?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were rules up front, like don't draw Vince McMahon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. it was it was like, oh, there's like 3 of the drawings I had planned I now can't do. So um yeah, that was kind of disappointing, but you know, like everything else that you know about Vince McMahon, it wasn't surprising. You're not supposed to say his name in your Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that there might be an issue with drawing him for this book. I was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll draw something else. There's 316 facts in the book. I'm sure I can find another moment from his career to draw.
I think that's so cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah. Like just to land that. But like, okay, tell us, you told me earlier, but tell everybody
Hmm.
how your friend reached out, but then asked you if you knew anybody
No,
for this job.
no. He asked me if I wanted the job.
Oh, right. And
It
then
was
what was
it
your
was
thinking?
yeah, it was Greg Oliver. I don't mind saying it was Greg Oliver. Um Greg Oliver had the publisher is ECW Press, coincidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidentally named. Um and they Greg has done a bunch of his hockey books and some of his wrestling books with them. And so, going into this book, they decided this is what we'd like to add. And they asked Greg if he knew anybody involved in wrestling who was an illustrator, could do these. And he said, yeah, I do. And he came to me with it. And my first thought was, who can I pass this gig to?
You
Like
crazy.
I had a little touch of imposter syndrome. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough for this. And then I stopped and thought, why would I pass on this without even trying?
Mm-hmm.
So I tried and they liked it and I got the job. So,
Yeah. Just try. And how long ago was this?
This
Like,
was
was this?
this began, I think, the end of November is when I
Oh,
had my
wow. So then you had to keep it hush hush since then?
no, I didn't have to keep it super hush hush. I decided to I decided not to, like swing a flag around about it because let's it's like anything else in wrestling. It's not true until it happens, right? So the last thing
Yeah.
I want to do is say, yeah, I got this gig.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, what if past the sample that I gave them, like everything else I drew shit the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good choice.
Yes,
Good
but
choice.
I shut my mouth about it a little.
Okay, let's play some rapid fire.
Okay.
I'm going to name a move and you just spit out the first wrestler that comes to your mind.
Oh my god. Okay.
First one is drop kick.
Oh, the Killer Bees or Marty Jannetty or
Okay,
uh
one.
okay.
One.
Well,
Pick one.
Rock and Roll Express.
Oh my God.
Yeah, double drop kick.
All right, super kick.
Oh, well, Shawn Michaels.
Choke slam.
I don't want to say that guy's name.
First person that pops up. Who is it?
All right. Well, what's the second name? Kane.
Okay, listen. Everybody says that. Oh, I don't want to say that. Everyone's answer is Kane.
Okay. All right. Big Show. How's that? Paul
Yeah,
White. Paul White.
it's a big guy.
I like him.
All big guys do choke slams.
He's not a weird right-wing weirdo that I know
All right.
of.
All right. DDT.
Edit that out.
Oh my God. DDT.
Jake Roberts.
German suplex.
A German? Oh, Kurt Angle.
Moonsault.
Ultimo Dragon.
And power bomb.
Power bomb. Sid Vicious, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did well, and you only try to name 50,000 wrestlers only for the first one.
Look, if you say drop kick.
Yeah, who had the prettiest drop kick that was memorable to you?
Lots of people had really, really.
But it's supposed to be the first person that pops out of your mouth, like pops into your head.
Oh, okay. Well, then Rock and Roll Express because they had the double drop. I'm not.
If you paid attention,
I don't usually
to the rules of the game.
I don't usually try to be difficult, Jen.
Okay. You're just because you're a difficult person.
It
comes out naturally.
I can be a difficult person. I understand my failings. I understand most of my failings.
All right, listen.
That's why I stay away from people. I don't want to make people sad.
I saved the best subject for last.
Porn.
Let's talk about the club you work at.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things.
You are.
I sing on my Twitch stream a lot when I'm video gaming.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for those.
I feel bad too. Because I can't sing a lick. I can't sing worth a damn. It's terrible. I'm torturing these people.
Stop torturing my listeners. Thanks.
Let's talk about my stupid job.
Yes, let's talk about some juicy stories. Okay, you DJ.
Is juicy the word you want to? Is that the adjective you want to use here?
No, I should not use it.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Okay, let's just get to it. You are a DJ at one of the popular strip clubs in Toronto.
I am indeed. I am a strip club disc jockey. In other words, I am a sheepdog who can push buttons.
Yes.
I am a cat rancher. I am just herding cats.
Oh my God.
I run a daycare center that has alcohol.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I play horrible music for naked women.
Oh, it's not horrible, guys. He's just like talking about R&B and hip hop.
I don't like Chris Brown, and if I never have to listen to Chris, I haven't had to listen to a Chris Brown song in a year and
And
spiritually I'm at peace.
and don't bother asking him to play you No Diggity. That's if you're a dancer. It is that song, right? That you hate playing.
It's well, No Diggity is just so cliche. I mean, I'll play No Diggity, but it's so cliche.
It's got the
It's like
beats for the
it's
girls.
like Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. Is that really what you want? Do you really want the most obvious song? Ew.
Well, how do people react when they play it?
I don't know.
You should actually see it. Probably
I
it's
don't
like,
know. I'm
oh
not down.
yeah,
I'm
this
not
is
down
the
on the floor.
anthem.
I'm not down on the floor. I
No,
don't.
I know
I'm not
that.
amongst the customers.
I'm saying
I'm literally above them.
I'm just
It's the
saying
most pretentious thing.
it's kind of like the anthem for it, so maybe it gets people, I don't know, excited for it. I don't know. Ugh.
Right. But okay, I'll tell you a thing, and this is a serious thing. 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, it was the end of 2018. My the owners of our club came to my manager and then passed along to me that people were complaining about the music. People who were coming in regularly were making complaints about the music because they were hearing the same bunch of songs over and over and night after night after night. So a concerted effort had to be made to change the music. So at the beginning of 2019, girls got warned for a month or so. Hey, everybody's music is going to change at the beginning on the first of the year. So what we ended up doing was everything that I have all the girls set saved.
Mm-hmm.
I made all the girls change their music. If there was a set that you were playing every time you went on stage, no, that song got retired. There were hundreds of songs that I just wouldn't play for months into the new year because they were getting played nightly. And people were literally complaining. So I made everybody change all their music. And it was all
people like customers, right? That's what you're talking about?
Customers. Well, I mean, listen, I ignored staff complaints about the music.
So customers, so they had to be there every night.
Yeah, there were some customers who were. And wow. as sad as that seems, that's how I get paid. That's my rent money, is people who come in and pay for overpriced beers and watch women dance.
Yeah.
You know, I can't come back. So, but it was a horrifying process because it was literally a couple of hundred girls who all had to pick 9 new songs that nobody else was playing. Part of this was I was not letting 2 girls play the same song anymore.
Oh, okay.
And then every few months, I would say, you know, okay, time to change at least one of these sets.
Mm-hmm.
So it became a whole, like, I mean, one of the things about the job is it's so damn easy. And now here's a mandate from ownership that makes it like a new argument every night. It's like, oh man, hey, there's 3 new girls working tonight. Oh, that's 3 girls I have to pick new music with. Mm-hmm. Great. It's 3 people I become the villain to when I say, no, you can't play August Alsina.
I don't even know who that is.
Or I'm sorry. All the Drake songs that he doesn't use the N-word in are already taken.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. We understand the music stuff. Now,
Yeah.
we need some more like
Are
hilarious.
you just looking for dirty stories out of me? Is that
Yeah, we need some hilarious stories. I mean, they
like
deserve it. They've had to listen to you for this long.
that's that seems below the belt. Why do you want
Teehee,
why
teehee,
why do you enjoy
teehee.
hurting me so much? What is it about my pain that fuels you? Oh, that's silence. Were you covering your mouth not to laugh out loud? You're a bad person. Oh yeah, even my
Ah,
cat
you're
thinks.
you're
Did you
you're
hear that?
no.
Oh, she's sitting beside my chair and she's putting in a protest. I don't know. What kind of story do you want?
Come on. You know how many like
Don't bite me.
hilarious. Oh my God.
I'm, I'm petting her and she like tried to grab my arm and bite me.
She don't want to be pet.
Yeah, she does want. Well, no, she probably wants to play with one of her toys, but I'm busy. I'm talking to my friend Jen.
Yeah. All right. Something like hilarious or something gross. Come on. You've got gross stories.
Okay, I got a gross story. How are they gonna? Are your listeners gonna be able to handle actual gross?
Yes.
Don't attack my foot either.
Oh dear.
Uh, okay, so one night, part of my job is filling stage shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the girls are directed after they sign in and before they go to work on the floor. They're supposed to check in with both DJs because we're two clubs, one on top of the other. They're supposed to check in with both DJs, see whether we need stage shows, but plenty of girls try to avoid stage shows. So one night when there weren't a ton of girls in the building for whatever reason, I had to go out hunting down some extra shows. And there was a girl who used to do stage shows. Like I remembered I met her on her first night ever dancing. They brought her on the tour and she came to me before her stage show and sat down for like a half hour and she was all nervous and I talked to her and calmed her down. Everything's going to be fine. And, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing outside of the club? And, oh, what are where'd you go to school? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to calm her down. She was very nice, but over time she really became quote unquote a stripper. Okay. So this one developed quite an attitude. So this one night, I go into this one change room and there's a couple other girls in there and I'm asking them about stage shows. I get them signed up for stage shows and I ask her, can I get you for a show? And she goes, no. And so part of my job is to find out why not, because no is not supposed to be the answer, right? Mm-hmm. They're told if we ask you for a stage show, you have to do a stage show. So
what is a stage show?
It's really there in the name. They go on stage. They do 3 songs on stage.
Okay, so but why is she saying no?
Well, that's
what's so bad about it.
That's where the gross conflict came in. Because when I asked her why is she saying no, like a magician pulling a rabbit from a hat, she reached up into herself.
Oh my God.
And
pulled out a tampon.
Pulled out a tampon and held it up to my face and said, "This is why." And the other girls in the room were like, "Holy fuck." And I backed up and I said, "Why would you do that?" And she said, "Well, you're going to badger me about a stage show. And I need you to understand why I'm not doing stage shows."
So why was she there?
I
What
was
what
just because you can still take somebody to dance if if you're having your period, if you're well provisioned enough, just make sure to tuck that string or cut it. So
Jeez.
so she did this, and I was honestly aghast. This is unnecessary. And then a little while later, she tried to come to me to apologize. Maybe I can't remember exactly, but I was just like, just do me a favor, please just go away. Please just go the fuck away from me. I don't have any need to talk to you. Go away. So, I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, hey, the sweet young girl who had dreams of, making some money that so she could, like had time for school or whatever, and wanted to open a dance studio, was now this drug-addled weirdo who did a stage show that looked like it was like it was a pseudo S&M stage show, right?
Mhm.
And I was just like, wow, life's really taken a turn for you. And I don't want to be friendly with you anymore. Leave me alone. And from that day, it's not that I wouldn't ask her to do a stage show. I wouldn't put her on stage. She, at one point, we're talking about my Kickstarters. She at one point went to my manager, and he knew the story and was suitably grossed out by it.
Yeah.
She went to him and said, look, he won't even talk to me anymore. And I want to do stage shows up here. Like, what can I do to apologize so that I can do stage shows up here? And I don't know who told her about it, but she said to him, what if I like pledged to his Kickstarter? And she was going to throw in for like a $200 or $250 tier on my Kickstarter to get me back on side so that I would like to bribe me so I would start giving her stage shows again. And when he told me about it, I said, look, just tell her not to waste her time or her money. I just don't want to deal with her anymore. It's just not worth it for me.
So then what is she doing? So then she's only doing like private dances then?
Well, no, she can do stage shows downstairs. She can come up on a Saturday night when the weekend guy is there and dance with him. But at a certain point, it's just like, I don't know what it is that I don't know what it is that you think of me. Why would you go out of your way to upset me because I was doing my job, asking you to do your job?
Mm-hmm.
And if there's 120 other girls in the building most nights, then
Damn, that many?
then I don't. Well, on a really good night, usually before the world set itself on fire at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
When I first started there, an average night was 160 girls. That was 2 decades ago. Now, like a super, super hot night would be 100 to 120. Most nights, 60 to 80, I would guess. 60 to 80, sometimes 100. So if you're not working nights regularly or you're not upstairs regularly, and I don't see you that often, then I don't have to see you. It's fine. I didn't tell anybody don't let her work here.
She pissed off the wrong person.
I just don't want to work with you. What you did was really fucking gross and really fucking unnecessary.
Okay, wait, is
So
she still there?
she was still there. She was still there over a year ago. Like everything now is, dude, you know, we're basically living like in a pair of Avengers movies, right? Like this was before the snap.
I don't
Before
even know what to call this world anymore.
it's the time. We're still in the time between Infinity War and Endgame. We haven't gotten to the blip yet. The blip is when everybody comes back. That'll be later in the summer. But before the snap, she was still working there. Not as often, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see her. I didn't have a reason to see her. It's like
Until that day, you did not let her on that stage.
Yeah, it was years. It was literally years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's my point is very rarely do I wish harm on people. I would rather you go live your life somewhere else and be happy. Go be happy away from me. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go fuck off. Live your life. Don't involve me in it.
Well,
well, let me see if I got anything else that doesn't involve nonsense.
give us one more story.
Give us one more story. I love random things that get said in the club. Like over the years, there have been so many random things in that were said in the club that were just like, I do have a log or a book of
The
like
stripper's memoir.
Yeah, thousands of weirdo snippets of conversations that I've heard in the club. Like years ago, after the Japanese earthquake and the tsunami, we were watching the news at 3 a.m. at the bar. The bar is closed and we're watching the news. And a couple of the girls on their way home pass through the bar and they see what we're watching and they're like, oh my God, how big was that on the Scoville scale? Yeah, earthquakes. You're thinking about chili peppers. Earthquakes are the Richter scale. Just little things. Like
Aww.
one time a girl sitting at the bar at the beginning of the night. And a girl comes up to one of our doormen and asks, "Hey, do you know how to say hello in Hungarian?" And we look at each other kind of confused. And he looks at her. He says, "No." I was like, "Oh, I know you've got some Hungarian friends. I wondered if you knew how to say hello in Hungarian." He's like, "Well, why do you want to say hello in Hungarian? Do you have like a client you're trying to impress or something?" And she said, No. I just got a new dog." "Is the dog Hungarian?" "No, he's a German Shepherd."
Was it like a rescue from Hungary?
No. Don't.
So...
We didn't even get further into it. It was just, that's fine. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I've heard or been part of hundreds of conversations about breast implants and butt implants. And for a while, the girls in the locker room near my DJ booth kept having discussions about sorry kids, about anal bleaching. And it's, you know, there are times where I just, hey, will you guys just Google it and find out and shut up?
That reminds me of Bridesmaids.
And the stuff like one night a girl was like, hey, remember that time a guy threw a box of Girl Scout cookies at my head and I had to block it with my poster?
Jeez.
These are
Why?
yeah. Hey, remember my customer Crazy Mike who gave me the Thanksgiving turkey one time? Yeah,
What?
I'm guessing we know why you called him Crazy Mike.
Oh, Jesus.
Lots of ridiculous things get said in a strip club.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's play our very last game, my Survivor Series game. You're going to choose four other comic book artists
Okay.
or
Yeah.
writers you'd have on your squad.
Oh, I already have that squad.
You do?
I already have that squad.
Well,
That photo's been sitting on my on various bits of social media for a while. And we took a photo at New York Comic Con about 4 years ago with Ric Flair, because I have a little group of creator friends, and we call ourselves the Black Horsemen. And it's so, of course, Ric Flair's at the show. Damn right, we're getting a photo with him. Myself, Jamal Igle, who most fans will know from drawing Supergirl. He did Supergirl for a few years. And
oh,
he's
wow.
also, right now, he's doing a book and its sequels series called Black, which I think is going to be made into a movie. So Jamal Igle, Jamar Nicholas, who does an all ages book called Leon, Protector of the Playground.
Oh.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And he just got picked up late last year. He got picked up by a publisher, and I don't want to say which publisher it is because I know I'll get it wrong. But Jamar is amazing. There's Ray Anthony Height. There's Jerry Gaylord, and there's another cat by the name of Sean Pryor. All just friends I've met along the way. Mostly, most of them I met when I was doing through the publisher when I was doing here the first Hero, my first book. And Jamar, I kind of met Jamar. I think we just connected online because I think he may have found me through Twitter, and we were talking about wrestling. All of these guys are wrestling fans, so that's part
nice.
of how. Yeah, it's part of how the Black Horseman name came up. But yeah, there's a great photo of us with Ric Flair from New York that is on my social media here and there.
Okay, so that's like 7 of you guys? No?
No, 5 of us. 5 of me, Jamar, Jamal, Ray, Jerry, and Sean. 6.
Oh, okay. You just don't play by the rules, right?
So now what? Now I've got to throw one of the guys overboard.
You gotta cut 2 guys out.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Survivor
I won't
Series
do that.
Team is 5. I'll just manage.
You were the 5th, you ding dong. No.
Yeah, but I'll just manage from outside. I'll just Bobby Heenan this.
You never play by the rules.
Hey, Roddy
Always
Piper, baby. Roddy Piper. Just when they think they've got all the answers, I change the questions.
Okay, can you tell everyone where they can find you on socials and your Patreon or Twitch or whatever it is that you have out there?
All my stuff is properly branded at My Name is Kingdom. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, twitch.tv, and Patreon are all at My Name is Kingdom. And on Twitter or Instagram, you'll also find in my bio there on those websites, you'll find my link tree, which has even more links to even more stuff like my merch store or any of that, whatever other nonsense I've got going on. And I have my own podcast, the Handsome Genius Club radio show, which I do Mondays and Thursdays for the general public, and Fridays exclusively for my Patreon subscribers. And you can find that podcast at handsomegeniusclub.com. That'll lead you to my website, rutgazer.com. It's the same website, just different URLs for different parts of the site. So yeah, I'm findable. And I posted a YouTube video a couple of days ago talking about a commentary about Falcon and Winter Soldier that people seem to like, and I encourage you to find that on my YouTube page and give it a watch and tell me what you leave a comment and tell me what you think.
Awesome. That's you're busy. It's a lot of links.
Yeah, it's, you know what? If I focused on one single thing, I'd rule the world. But but no, I have sometimes too many irons and too many fires. That's why I sent the text message out to my friends, this morning and said, which of these 3 ideas should I work on first? I needed help narrowing it down. If I have too many choices, nothing will get done.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that about yourself, that sometimes you spin in circles instead of, buckling down to one thing?
Absolutely, especially being a mom. Yes.
Yeah. You try to do something and then
something else comes along the way. Got to do that too.
Trying to do a little yoga, somebody stands on your back.
It's just Jet's like my little goat. That's a new fad, goat yoga, where you do your yoga and they let goats jump all over you and climb all over you.
Does he ever just come up when you're like standing somewhere and like just headbutt you? Like just
No, he comes and just like he slaps his leg when he kicks at me. But he never rarely hits. Oh yeah. But he gets real close.
Yeah.
It's his aim is impeccable. It's crazy. Yeah.
So it's all he's work kicking you, and it's all about how you sell.
Exactly.
Isn't that awesome? He's putting the onus on you.
He actually he sells for you. So he'll do the kick and he'll be like, "Oh." And as he's saying, "Oh," he goes back and then runs at me again to do a little kick again. He does everything. He does his own commentary. He does his own announcing.
Yeah, but you have the choice. You can either sell for him or you can sandbag him. It sounds like you're sandbagging your own kid.
I sell for him. Okay.
I make him lunch. Isn't that enough? I want to ask one more question, because I want this to end on the happiest note possible.
What? All right. Yes. What would you like to ask?
Oh, Jesus. What are you happy being a mom?
Am I happy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I don't want to put out there that there's moments where,
there's got to be moments.
Yeah.
There's got to be moments where you look at them and think, no one would know.
Oh, no. No, not in that sense. I'm just saying I'm just saying as far as momming, there's moments, but yeah, I absolutely love being a mom. Why? Is there a smartass comment coming?
No.
Oh, you just.
Do you think I always have a smartass comment?
Yeah. What would I? What if someone said, "No, I hate being a mom"?
Then my follow-up would be, so how do you get through?
I don't think anyone would actually admit that, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
because then it would just spark up I would feel so bad for that child.
Sure.
And that would tell me that child's not getting, the proper care or even,
Well, not necessarily. I
I mean,
mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure there are people that really can't stand it, but it's an obligation and they do it to the best of their abilities. They just don't get joy out of it. I want to know, do you get joy out of being a mom?
I do.
Yeah.
It's such a weird question.
Why?
I don't know. This is a weird
I've
thing to
known you.
ask.
How long have I known you?
What you tell me, what do you think?
What do I think? How long have we known each other?
No. What do you think about my opinions on being a mom?
I think you probably think that even at its most frustrating, it's the best thing you've ever done.
So then what makes you want to ask that question?
Because sometimes I like to hear that my friends are happy. Sometimes I want my friends to tell me about their happiness.
Because I know you so well, like I'm
You
just
think
waiting
that
for you to
you think
cackle
there's
right
something
now.
behind it.
I
Then
do.
then you don't know me. Then you don't know me. Because I
Kingdom, I am very happy being a mama.
I revel in the happiness of the people I love. I love that you're a mom. I love that you're married. I love that things are good. And sometimes I just want you to tell me about it.
Oh, well, you call me anytime.
I do.
I can let Jet,
we
steal the
talked for
phone and run away.
We talked for an hour and a half the other day. And I kept asking you about Jet, didn't I?
Yes, and
Yeah.
Jet stole the phone and ran away with it.
Which
while
was
screaming.
the best. Oh my God, it was the best. It could only have been better if it had been like a FaceTime call.
Oh my God.
It would have been awesome to watch him running away with the phone.
He's such an animal.
Oh, well, he's got two parents who don't quit, right?
Well, Kingdom, I'd like to thank you for coming on. And
you don't know what to make of what we just did for the last 3 hours.
And taking forever to tell your stories. I'm kidding, guys. He's used to this treatment.
I know, it's terrible. I'm used to the abuse.
And this is where I'm going to cut you off. So until then, see you next Tuesday.